Okay. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Beautiful. Okay, let's get started. We'll start out just with a few minutes getting centered. So you can sit down or you can lie down, just finding a place to close your eyes for a moment and check in with the breath. So starting out with some purposeful breathing, in and out through the nose. Breathing into the low belly and then the chest. Exhaling a little bit longer than the inhale. We're coming out of our busy thinking minds and down into the body, down into the breath. Giving ourselves permission to just let go. We often don't realize how tense, tight, and tired we are until we try to relax. We often live with exhaustion and stress so long it's become habitual. Sometimes we need to consciously break the cycle of habitual living and create a mind-body connection. Sometimes we need to stop and give our bodies a designated time while we are awake to relax, to restore, to rest, and to just let go. It's all right to rest even if we're busy. Resting often enough to keep ourselves replenished. Relax, refresh, and regroup. We get in touch with our bodies. Going back to the breath. The breath is the vehicle for the prana, or the energy, which sustains the physical body. Just as water cannot flow freely through a pinched garden hose, your prana, or your life force energy, cannot flow freely if you are cramped, tight, or tense. Honor that life force that is within you, that flows through you. Honor that life force by relaxing, opening to it, and inviting it to flow through your body freely and softly. Getting in touch with the breath, getting in touch with stillness, and just remaining here. So as we get in touch with our body, just noticing how it's feeling today. If you woke up feeling rested, if you woke up feeling tense someplace in your body. Just noticing, giving us an opportunity for self-care. And taking a moment here for a few more rounds of intentional breathing. To relax the nervous system. So as we get started, we're lying on our backs, and we'll just start out hugging the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. See how that low back is feeling. We'll start out making some circles with the knees. See how this is all feeling for the low back. Hands can be on the knees or arms outstretched. Your circles can be little or modest, or they can be big and wide. Circle in both directions. And we'll start out with our strap. Whatever you're using for a strap, your bathrobe belt. And we're going to hook both feet up into the air. We can keep our eyes closed here. I'm going to flex my feet. I'm going to push my heels away. I'm going to bring the toes towards my nose. I'm drawing the belly button into the spine. And just gently drawing the legs in. If you don't want to use your strap, you could always reach for your toes. Yogi toe hold. Or if this is all too much and you want to keep it a little more gentle, you can have the hands back behind the thighs. So take a few breaths here. And we'll just start gently rocking left to right. Maybe the eyes are still closed and we have that intentional breathing in and out through the nose. I'm going to make sure that my tailbone stays nice and flat on the floor, so I'm not curling up off the floor, my low back. Low back stays nice and flat and long. Make some circles here. And your circles can be little, they can be big and wide. Circle it in both directions. And then we'll come to a big wide V, opening the legs to a V. And again, your V could be modest, it could be big and wide. So feel free to keep a little bend in the knees. rocking side to side. Relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. Close the eyes. And just let the body sway here. Nice and easy. Relax the shoulders down, relax the jaw. I'm just kind of checking in, whatever pose we're doing. Just checking in over and over and gently scanning the body throughout class. And just noticing places of tension or gripping where you might be able to soften and let go. We'll just hold it here and take 3 intentional breaths, holding it still. And then we'll bring those feet together. And I'm going to cross my left foot over my right leg, coming into my figure 4. So starting out with a deep hip stretch. You can have the strap around that right foot. Or you can have the hand back behind that right leg. Ideally, the left foot would be just above the knee, like between the knee and the hip. But maybe it doesn't go that far, so maybe it's up a little bit higher. Option to use that left elbow, push that left knee away. And then here we can rock left to right again. Eyes are closed. Take a few big breaths here. And then maybe some circles with that right leg. Circling both directions. And now I'm going to release that left leg. And you can either have the foot flat on the floor with the knee bent, or you can stretch that leg out nice and long. I have the strap in my right hand now, and I'm going to let that right leg open to the right. Flexing the right foot, I'm really actively pushing my right heel away. I'm pulling my belly button down to the spine. And then, of course, if you don't want to use the strap and it's available, you can take your 2 peace fingers, wrap them around that big toe, and hold it that way. Take a breath or 2. Left hand can be gently resting on that left hip bone, helping to keep the left side from rolling off the floor. We can stretch that left arm out nice and long. And then coming back up to center with that right leg, switching the strap into my left hand. And now I'm going to cross the body. So my leg is going in the opposite direction. I have the strap in my left hand. You can feel free to prop up your block here to keep it more gentle, resting that leg on the block. And then I want to try and get both shoulder blades on the ground. So I feel like my left shoulder blade is off the ground. I'm just going to shimmy my whole upper body a little bit over to the left, stretching that right arm out and coming into a little twist, turning my head to the right as long as it's okay for my neck. Starting out with some gentle twisting, 3 intentional breaths in and out through the nose. Switching sides, we'll come back to center. Right leg comes up in the air. And then to work the core just a tiny bit before we switch sides. Right leg is still up in the air. I'm just switching my position so you can see me. So that hamstring is stretching out on the right leg. I can keep a gentle bend in that right knee. And then maybe we can lift that left leg just a few inches off the floor. Flex that left foot. So pulling the belly button down to the spine. And then maybe you lift the head, neck, and shoulders off the floor if it's okay for the neck. Pulling that belly in, working the core. So your left foot could be just a few inches off the floor. You could lift it up a little bit higher. Relax the shoulders and the jaw. And then release the head back down. Putting the left foot into the strap to meet the right. Both legs are in the strap. And now we'll come into figure 4 on the right leg. Crossing that right leg over the left. Using the strap and gently drawing that leg in closer to the body. And we can start out just gently swaying left to right. Take a few intentional breaths here, in and out through the nose. And we'll make some gentle circles here with that left leg. Option for that right arm to push the right knee away. And then we'll release that right leg, stretch it out nice and long, or if it feels more supportive, you can keep that knee bent with the foot flat on the floor. Left leg opens to the left. Relaxing the shoulders, softening the jaw. And just breathing into that inner thigh stretch. And then left leg comes up in the air. I'm going to switch the strap into my right hand, cross that leg to the opposite side of the room. And then again, you can have that leg rest on a block. So this time checking in with that left shoulder blade. And if it's off the floor, shimmying a little bit over to the right. Just the upper body shimmies to the right. And then turning the head, facing that left hand. Take a few breaths in and out through the nose. Just envisioning those little tiny muscles between the ribs expanding and lengthening as you take deep breaths into the left side of the body. And bringing that left leg back up to center, stretching that right leg out nice and long. Left leg is still in the strap. And then option to just flex that right foot, and that right foot could come a few inches off the floor. Maybe it comes a little bit higher off the floor, turning on the muscles in the leg there, activating those quadricep muscles. And then making sure to pull the belly into the spine here, anchoring that low back to the floor. And then option to lift the head, neck, and shoulders off the floor, working the core. And I'm using my strap for support. And then releasing the head down. And I'm going to just remove the strap, drop it off to the side, hug the knees into the chest, rock it out. And then we'll come into a little inversion next. So finding your block or your pillow. And I'm going to have my knees bent, feet flat on the floor, lifting the hips up, sliding that block underneath my tailbone. So it's going to be all the way down in the glute area, not in the curve of the back. And then one leg at a time, hugging it into the chest, extending it up, and then switching. So a little gentle inversion here. You keep your legs up. I'm just going to check the screen and make sure everybody can hear me okay. Great. So let's point and flex the feet while we're here. Relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. We'll circle the ankles. And then maybe just kind of shaking out the legs. Arms come up in the air, shake them out. And maybe today we could do a little bit of tapping. If this is too much to be on the block or the pillow, you can just have the back flat on the floor here too. But while we have our legs up in the air, maybe we can just start tapping the outer thighs. Tapping up the front of the thighs, tapping around the knees. Tapping the back by the hamstrings. Down a few times. And then tapping all the way up the calf muscles, the shins. Maybe you can reach the feet, tapping the bottom of the feet, the sides, the tops. And then coming back down the legs. And then my right hand will start tapping my left hand. Start tapping up that left arm, up to the neck, back down that left arm again. 2 times up and down, flipping the arm, now doing the inside of the arm. Coming back up to the neck area, the chest. Just tapping all around here. And then switching. My left hand will tap down the right arm. That right hand. Back up that right arm, the right shoulder. And then turn that arm the other way, tapping down the inside of the arm, the wrist, palms. And then coming back to center, just bringing both hands to the belly. Tapping the belly, the ribs, the chest, the sides of the body. And then one last time, coming back up the legs. And then both arms come up in the air and hold and just breathe. And just noticing any sensations of energy in the body. Take a few intentional breaths here. And then nice and slow, we'll bend those knees, feet come flat on the floor, lifting the hips up, sliding that block off to the side, hugging the knees in, rock side to side. So we're gonna make our way up to sit. If you wanna come up nice and gentle and slow, you can roll onto your left side and gently push up. If you wanna do some spinal rocking, hands come behind the knees, just working the core a little bit and rocking back and forth. It's kind of massaging the spine and the kidneys. See if you can balance when you come up. And then we're going to come to just turning around here. I'm bringing my feet out in front of me, so I'm still seated. And we're going to windshield wiper. So I'm going to bring my feet a little bit wider. And then I'm just going to drop those legs side to side. I'm pulling my belly button into my spine while I'm here. And then coming back to center, bringing the bottoms of the feet together. I'll take a big tall breath in, lifting the arms overhead, and then exhaling, just leaning forward gently. So my hands are just above my knees, my ankles. And my arms are gently pushing my knees and my legs downward towards the floor. So see if you can do this, keeping a nice long, straight spine. So it's going to be a forward lean, and my chin is not going to be on my chest because I want my spine to be in a nice long diagonal line. So this is sometimes done where you curve and let everything hang down, but I find it so beneficial to think about lengthening my spine and creating space between the vertebrae rather than curling up in this particular stretch. So you don't have to go forward very far to get a nice stretch out of it. So take a few breaths here, relax the shoulders and the jaw. Now you can stay here if you want to just remain in this stretch. If you want to try a core challenge, balance challenge, you're going to come back up. You take your two peace fingers, reach for those toes, and extend the legs up into the air into a V. So check the shoulders. If they're scrunched, soften them down. I'm pulling my belly into the spine. Your V can be more modest, can be here. You can bend the knees, or your V can be big and wide. This is super easy. You can try rocking left to right. So many options here. Working on our core and balance. And then nice and slow. Bring those legs back together, coming into a boat pose, pulling the belly into the spine. So here we are rounding a little bit in the low back. So you can bring one leg off the floor at a time. Maybe both legs come off the floor. We see if we can get them parallel to the floor. Relax the shoulders. Option 2, release the hands. Or straighten the legs. Your pose, take a few breaths. Nice. Release down. Once again, windshield wiper side to side. Feet are nice and wide. Just loosening everything up. And we're going to come next to deer pose. So for deer pose, I'm going to bend both my knees, and I'll have the inside of the bottom of my right foot on the inside of my left leg. So take your time and set up. If you look at your legs, it's like you're making the letter M almost, or W. And then you can have your block handy on the right side of you. And you can have your right hand on that block, or right hand can be on the floor. So your choice. I'm going to pull my belly button into my spine, and I'm going to start just inhaling and reaching that left arm up. So once again, I'm thinking about making a diagonal line with my body. And then releasing that down. So you can stay here, breathing in and extending that arm off and reaching. Breathing out as you come back. Inhaling and lifting that left arm. Exhale, come back down. And here's where you can come up and use the block for support if you want to get a little deeper and stretch out in the front of that hip. Inhale and lift the hip up off the floor. So let's start just holding it here. So I'm going to try and make a diagonal line again. I'm going to Send my left hip forward. And then exhale, release down. So we'll do that a few more times. Stay down on the floor and keep it gentle if that's what's working for your body today. Inhaling, arm up. Exhaling down. Breathing in. Breathing out, come down. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Now I'm just gonna fold over that leg here. Maybe coming down to the forearms. And nice and slow, pushing back up to sit. We'll switch sides, so we'll have the block over on the other side, switching my legs. This time the bottom of my left foot is on my inner right leg. So once again, starting just with the breath, left hand is on the block or the floor. Inhaling, reaching that right arm off to the diagonal. Exhale, come back down. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling down. So we're getting into the side body here, really gently stretching off to the side. And now we'll lift it up. Inhaling, lifting the hips up, holding it here for a minute, stretching into the front of the right hip. Relax the shoulders, take a few breaths here. And then we'll flow up and down, exhaling as we release down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. So of course you can always go a little bit faster or a little bit slower, working with the breath. And whatever pattern feels right for your body today, in this moment. Coming back down, and we'll just come into a comfortable seated position, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down, and rolling them forward. Just kind of loosening up. And then we'll make our way up to all fours. So take your time. Coming to hands and knees. I'm just gonna give a quick check and make sure everybody's good. Okay. So starting out with some cat-cow here. Just gently warming up the back. We're on hands and knees. My wrists are directly under my shoulders. My fingers are spread nice and wide, so I have the weight evenly distributed. Pulling the belly up to my spine, protecting my low back, coming into a little back bend and inhaling into my cow, and then exhale, curl like a Halloween cat. So flow back and forth a few times here. Let your breath guide you. When your body is ready to breathe in, gently coming into a back bend. When your body is ready to breathe out, exhaling and curling. So rather than letting the mind lead you, let the breath lead you. The whole time belly's drawn in to protect the low back. And then coming back to center, and we're gonna come into thread the needle. So I'm just gonna turn my mat. So we're on all fours. We're gonna ground that left hand down. We're gonna inhale and twist that right arm open. And then exhale, threading that arm through. And we'll start here, just kind of resting here. So that head, the right side of the head can rest on the floor. You can have your block or your pillow for support for the head. So your choice. We want to let that right arm rest down on the floor. And the more that left hand will push into the floor, the more you get into a little bit of a twist in the back if you put some pressure into that left hand. So while we're here, you can stay here in this gentle twist, opening the back of the right shoulder. You can extend that left leg out to the side. So that left foot can come kind of over to maybe 8 o'clock, over towards that right hand. And my left toes are in towards my fingers, and I'm flexing my foot and pushing that left heel away. So you can stay right here as you stretch down that left leg in this little twist. And then if you want to challenge, that left leg can come up off the floor, coming into balance. So again, a couple of options. You're strengthening the hip if that left leg is off the floor. And then nice and slow. Left foot will come back down. I'll bring my left knee back in and we'll just twist and flow a few times. So coming out, left arm opens, breathing in, and exhale, threading it through. Again, inhale, right arm, breathe in, and exhale, thread it through. One more time on this side. Breathing in, right arm opens, and exhale, threading that right arm through. Coming back to neutral, to center, to all fours. Few rounds here, cat-cow, breathing in and out through the nose. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side now. Inhaling and opening, left arm up. Exhaling, threading it through. Inhale, left arm opens. Exhale, thread it through. One more time, breathing in and opening. Exhale, thread it through. And then this time we'll rest down. So left side of the forehead is resting here. My right palm is pushing into the floor. So your head can be resting on a pillow or a block, or it can be down on the mat. So just noticing what this twist feels like in your low back compared to the other side. If there's any difference between the right and the left, just noticing. And then you can feel free to stay here, or that right foot extends out, that right leg stretches out. My right foot is flexed. So I'm pointing my toes into my nose. You could stay here with that right palm on the floor. Another option is to come into a little bit deeper of a twist and have that right hand, the palm, rest on the low back, or right arm could extend up. A lot of different options here. And then if you did the strength and balance on the other side, that right foot can come up off the floor, coming into the balance, breathing in and out through the nose, relaxing the jaw. And now that right foot will come back down to the floor. I'll bring that right knee back in. And one more time, just opening, left arm twist, opens, breathe in, and breathe out. Okay. We're going to come into a kneeling vinyasa series here. So, to start, we're on all fours, belly's pulled into the spine, and we're going to come up, coming into a sun breath, inhaling the arms up, exhaling back forward, cat-cow, breathing into the back bend, exhaling, curling the back. Coming back to a neutral spine, walking the hands out, coming to puppy, reaching my hands out as far as I can up front. My arms are active and long, and then pulling back towards the heels, getting a little stretch in the shoulders, up the arms. And then before we move on, we're going to stretch the low back. So I'm just going to walk my hands over to the right to start. I'm up on my fingertips, and I'm pulling my hips back towards my heels, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, soften the jaw, relax all the muscles in the face. And then walking across to the left. Reaching, especially with that right arm, up on the right fingertips. So it's active, but I'm trying to find places where I can relax, like my shoulders and my jaw. And then coming back to center, and we're gonna lift up to down dog. So coming back to all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. And we wanna draw the heels towards the floor. Maybe the heels touch, maybe they don't. We'll just walk the dog here. Bending opposite knees, nice and slow. Taking 3 breaths while we're in down dog. And then before we move on, we're gonna ground that left foot and inhale, right leg comes up. 3-legged dog, building strength. Breathing in and out through the nose, nice and easy. Right leg comes down, switching sides. Ground the right foot, belly's pulled into the spine the whole time here. Inhale, left leg comes up, 3-legged dog. Few breaths here, in and out through the nose. And nice and easy, releasing left leg down and coming to plank. So I'm gonna let my feet walk back a little bit. And I'm gonna have my belly pulled in the whole time. Shoulders are directly over the wrists. And then of course, option to have the knees down for a more gentle plank. Either way, you're pulling the belly in and you're working your core. And now dropping down to the knees, pull back, child's pose. Stretch it out and relax. Circling the wrists here. Shaking them out, whatever feels right. Just taking a few purposeful breaths. In child's pose. And of course, anytime that you feel the need to stop and take care of your body and rest, at any point you can feel free to do that. So we're going to come back up to all fours again, up to hands and knees, and we'll do the kneeling vinyasa series, and we'll flow through it a little bit more fluidly without stopping to do other things. So starting from hands and knees, coming up onto the knees. Inhale, both arms up, sun breath. Exhale, coming back down to all fours, coming into your cow. Baby back bend, breathe in. Exhale, curl into your cat. Coming back to a flat back, neutral spine, walking the hands out. Puppy, pulling back those hips. Stretching out here, just like a puppy. Coming back up to all fours, lifting up, down dog, tucking the toes. Hips come up. Beautiful. 3 breaths here. And now coming to plank. So your choice, if the knees are down, keeping it more gentle, or maybe you're in the top of a push-up if you're in a full plank. Pulling the belly into the spine. And now again, drop the knees, Pull back, child's pose. Take 3 breaths here. In and out through the nose. And one last time, we'll repeat this kneeling vinyasa series. Coming to all fours, belly's pulled into the spine the whole time. And then using that core, coming all the way up, sun breath. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Lifting the heart up to the sky. Exhaling, back down to all fours. Inhaling to cow, back bend. Exhaling, curling the back, cat. Coming back to a flat back, walking those hands out. Pull back and stretch and puppy. Coming back up, walking the hands back to my tabletop. Tucking the toes, lifting up, down dog. 3 breaths here and down dog. Breathing in and out through the nose, relaxing the shoulders. And then coming forward to plank. So feeling free to drop the knees in your plank. Pulling that belly into the spine, wherever you are. 3 breaths here. And then dropping the knees, pull back, child's pose. So maybe this time you can try a wide knee child's pose if you haven't done that. So bringing the big toes together and knees go out to the side. And just letting that head come down and resting it on the mat or using your pillow or your block here to rest the forehead. Take 3 breaths in and out through the nose. And then nice and easy, we'll make our way up to stand. So coming back through all fours, however it feels safe for you to make your way back up. Take your time. Just check the screen, make sure everybody looks okay. Great, okay. Okay. So we'll start out here with a few rounds of breath. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling, arms back to the side. Again, breathing in, arms up. Exhaling, arms down. Your feet are hip width apart here. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And now we're going to widen our stance. So finding a place that feels safe where you're working, but it's not too much. How wide you want to go. Inhaling both arms up. And exhale, I'm just going to lean to the right. My right arm is reaching off to the side. My left arm is reaching up to the sky. Take a few breaths here, in and out through nose. We're stretching down the side of the body now, side lean. If you need support, you could have a chair here, or you could have your hand on your outer right leg as well. See if you can turn and open the heart up to the sky. Belly's pulled in here. Coming back to center. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale. Now we're going out to the left. So you can hold it here, a nice core challenge, pulling that belly in. That left hand can come to the leg. Right arm can reach a little bit over. Making a diagonal line from the outside of that right pinky toe all the way to the right fingertips. Come back to center. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, forward fold. You can have the hands come down to your block at any height. You can have both blocks or down to the floor. If you're not doing any forward folding, if there are issues at the back, you can work on a back bend and just have those hands on the hips, lifting the heart and drawing the shoulder blades together. So while we're here in our forward fold, maybe just gently swaying side to side. And then nice and easy, bending those knees, come up to stand. Inhale, arms up, breathe in, and exhale down. And then now everyone can come to a back bend, just putting those hands on the hips. And I'm just gonna think about lifting my heart up to the sky. So I'm gonna relax the shoulders down to start. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. My belly's pulled in nice and strong. And then just lifting and opening the heart. It's a really gentle back bend, but we're really stretching and opening the front of the torso. So depending on your neck, as long as it feels safe and there are no neck issues, you could lift the chin and let the head drop back a little bit. Take a few breaths here, just working on balance. Making sure we're not holding our breath. And then nice and easy. Coming back up to stand, rolling out the shoulders, shaking everything out. So we'll work on a few minutes of balance here. I'm going to ground my my left leg into the floor. I'm pulling the belly into the spine. And I'm coming off onto my right heel is coming off the floor. I'm coming up onto the toes. So feel free to use the support of a wall or a chair nearby. And I'm going to think about my posture, like I'm zipping up my jacket, pulling the belly button into the spine. And then if it's okay, you can let that right leg come off the floor and maybe that right foot swings back and forth a few times. So arms are wherever it feels right for you. You could have them out to the side, helping you with balance. Hands can be on the hips. You can have your hands together in front of the heart. So pulling that belly into the spine, noticing if you have like a crazy grip with those left toes. See if you can soften the left toes a little bit. Use the core. Beautiful. And then from here, coming to tree pose. So I'm slowing down that leg. My right leg will come into tree. I could have that right foot on the floor the whole time. Or the foot can come to that calf on my left leg. Or the right leg can come up inside the thigh. Again, whatever hands work for you. Could be palms together in front of the heart, could be tree arms. Think about drawing that right knee out to the side. Beautiful. Exhale, release down. Nice and gentle. Shake everything out. Shake out the standing leg. And we'll switch sides. So this time grounding into the right foot, drawing that belly into the spine. Coming up onto my left toes here. And you can feel free to just keep it here and work on balance here. Nice and gentle if that's where your body's at. Or left leg swings back and forth. So every time that leg comes back, we're stretching into that left hip flexor. Whatever arms work for you. Pulling the belly into the spine to help you. Mindful movement. And then from here, coming into tree. So my left leg will slow down, and I'm going to do it without ever putting my foot down. But you can feel free to, step out and rest. Your tree could have that left foot on the floor the whole time. On the calf or the inner thigh. And then find your tree arms. So just noticing if the shoulders are scrunched, can you soften Shoulders down away from the ears. Draw those shoulder blades towards one another. Opening the chest. Just balancing here. You could even circle the wrists. You could sway a little like a tree in a breeze. And then nice and slow. Arms come down. Releasing out, shake it out. And then nice and slow. We're going to come back down to our mat, down to the floor. We're going to do one chest opener on our belly. So lying down flat on your belly. So last stretch before we come to relaxation. So lying flat on your belly. We're going to stretch the arms out to a T. We're going to come into broken wing pose. So I'm going to start bending that left knee. Left foot comes up in the air. My right arm is stretched out. Right, I have my airplane arms. And I'm going to lift that left leg off the floor and I'm going to start to turn and open my hip. I'm going to turn that left knee up towards the sky. So maybe your foot touches the floor or maybe it's just up in the air. And my palms are facing down, helping to ground me. And I'm pulling my belly into the spine here. So keep it really shallow and gentle if there are any shoulder issues. Keeping it really, really, really mild and really shallow, really gentle. If there are no issues with the shoulders, you could lift that left arm up and draw that left arm back. So now you're also opening the front of the left side of the chest. So take a few breaths here. And then we're going to switch sides, nice and slow. Coming back, down onto the belly. We'll windshield wiper before we switch sides. So I'm just going to shimmy and make sure I can get my hip bones as close to the ground as possible. Feet come up in the air. Windshield wiper, side to side. You can rest the head on the hands as you windshield wiper. And then stretching out again, we're going to do broken wing on the other side. So my arms come out to a T, still lying on the belly. I'm switching my mat so you can see. Palms are face down. And then we'll start to open. Bending that right knee, right foot comes up in the air. You can use your right palm to help. Use your core, pulling the belly button in. Start to turn. Right knee points up towards the sky. And again, maybe you stay right here and that's enough of a stretch and an opening for you. Or maybe that foot can come down and touch the ground. Maybe you keep both hands on the floor the whole time. Or maybe that right arm comes up. Choose your stretch, choose your pose, whatever works for your body today. Take a few breaths in and out through the nose. Scan the body, find places to relax. And nice and slow. Coming back down onto the belly. Both feet come up in the air, windshield wiper side to side. And then nice and easy, we're going to make our way into Sphinx pose before relaxation. So coming up onto the forearms. My elbows are directly underneath my shoulders. Pulling that belly up to the spine. And just coming into a little back bend here. And just take a second and decide how you might want to be in Shavasana and relaxation today. Maybe you want to try it on your belly today since you're already here. Or maybe you want to flip over onto your back. So just taking a few breaths here in this back bend. Couple breaths in and out through the nose. And then choosing whatever pose might feel right for you for Shavasana. You could just come down and make a little pillow with your hands, rest the forehead. You could stack the fists and rest the forehead on the fists. Or you could flip over on your back. If there's any final stretch that you'd like to do, you can feel free to do it here. Breathing in and out through the nose and coming to a place where the body can just kind of let go. Relaxing down the shoulders. Softening the jaw. Scanning down all the muscles of the back. Releasing if there's any gripping or holding in the glutes and the hamstrings.